Hello and welcome to episode 13 of my playthrough of Pathfinder Kingmaker in an informative style. Now, we just finally got the Technic League ambush, and I'd gone back and forth a bit in an attempt to get it to appear, and we've still got 17 days remaining on our timer for the quick reclamation timer. So and we're only fatigued on our caster characters, so we're just going to go ahead and enter the Technic League ambush, where we're following Kalannah, this bold wizard who tried to enslave us, and I think this is going to be a sort of tables turned moment. So in we go. Now, the reason the ambush was hard is because you can't prepare for it, and here we're going to fight the same, array of people.
I decree we set up camp.
But we're going to be able to prepare. Now, if we have a look at the map, it's a relatively small map here. We got two ways to assault this, left or right. Basically, we're going to go right because it feels a little bit more natural, and we're going to go ahead and buff up. Hopefully not
A simple smile goes a long way.
let anyone know that we're here first. So up we go. We're going to use everything we got.
Was lost in thought.
Since we're fatigued, we're going to be resting anyway soon. We're going to give Valerie Shield of Faith, and we'll give the Leopard Shield of Faith as well.
Friendship lasts forever.
And the Leopard Mage Armor.
It's time to act.
We'll give the Leopard Magic Fang.
Give the order what you want.
The end draws near.
And we'll bless up.
The world is full of wonder.
And that should be everything. There's going to be an enemy just up here.
I'll share my path.
Or not. We're going to try. There we go. That's what we're looking for. See whether we can.
Now you see me, just now you don't.
See whether we can sneak up. Nah, there. There we go. Swap over.
What troubles you? And Lindsay was called forth. Adventures are exciting.
Let's see if we can just daze them.
I'm always ready. This will hurt. Don't hesitate. To victory!
I'm letting you out of our story.
That's a nice critical hit. Right. Let's just... No need to mess around. They've woken up. Let's just delay these two days.
Stand
there.
down. Serves you right.
Double days.
You deserved it.
And let's see how this works out.
You offended me.
There we go. Easy peasy. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get a little leopard here to free these prisoners. You see, what is this? An escape? Untie us, we'll fight with you. We're definitely going to get them to fight with us. And it turns out leopards can help out here. So, what we haven't cast is resist fear. So this is a good example here. Octavia is a wizard with it's one level of wizard, one level of thief, so she's getting sneak attack on her snowball there. It's quite nice, and that's a high roll. So we're gonna get our whole group try and take down these mages.
Your time is
Days.
over.
Might as well anti-fear, and we'll see about
Should have run.
dazing.
Hey, can someone help me?
Octavia's made of wet tissue paper, so
Do not falter.
let's see about rage. We'll bring Lindsay forward and we'll just sing off
Away, you rascal!
Yeah, problem is we should really be attacking Kalannah here, because she will just summon endlessly. There we go, see if you can trip her. Come on, Lindsay. Is that a critical hit against Valerie? That's the problem with these wolves.
What a waste.
There we go.
Become as
And let's
dust.
see whether we can just take them down. That's what I'm looking for. And now all these wolves will disappear. And we can just focus down here.
So fragile.
Easy peasy. This is what I should be saying before if we'd snuck up. Yeah, anyway. Kalannah here drops her weapon, raises her hands, asks for mercy. And we meet Regongar here. He's a half-orc. Octavia here is a half-elf. And he's not very happy at all, having been tied up here. And he casts a spell, so yeah, he's a magus, an Eldrich Scion, so a spontaneous magus. It's quite cool. And Octavia tries to calm him down, which is nice of her. So yeah, we get a choice here. Are we going to stop Regongar? Or are we going to let him kill Kalannah, who, you know, as a slave trader, slave master, you kind of think she deserves it. But we're just going to, as usual, ask a couple of questions. Because she's much more amenable to answering them now that we've wiped out this entire camp. So tell us about the Technic League. And this is kind of what I said in the previous video. In less, this is a bit politer, I guess. Wizards and scholars of the Numerian wastelands and its technologies. That's the crashed spaceship, and you know, our agents are everywhere, not just in Numeria. Believe me, these are not people you want as enemies. And yeah, Valerie's not impressed with that. Being lawful. Is it normal for the Technic League to grab random people from the road to enslave them? And basically, yes, it is. They were missing a slave and they were just going to take us as a replacement, and it's not very nice. And, you know, they're a little bit far from home. What on earth are they doing in the Stolen Lands? And why are they in the River Kingdoms in general? And this is Maestro Junush, who we kind of see reference to when we talk to Regongar and Octavia. He's a very important wizard who taught these two ungrateful slaves everything they know. He'll be furious to find out they're free. And yeah, he's going to track us down. Yeah, she's not very nice, Kalannah. You say this Magistro guy of yours will find us anyway? Then I guess we don't get anything out of sparing. So Mary wants us to kill him, and she's trying to plead for her life. Oh, I'm so scared. You know, I actually like getting slavers and other assholes angry with me. Then I get to cut them to pieces. That's, yeah. I just kind of wish I had more reason to, mechanically, to hang on to Mary, because it's nice having a chaotic barbarian along with you. So, why did you have these two in chains? Obviously because they're slaves. They're very expensive because they're magical slaves. And that's... we're fully within their rights. But Technic League doesn't actually support slavery. And generally the River Kingdoms, of which the Stolen Lands is nominally part of, don't agree with slavery either. Even though they're a loose coalition. And she's trying to bribe us. But if we let Regongar kill her, we play into his anger. He's actually chaotic evil as an alignment, but that's more, because he hasn't known much else. Sort of, he's been a slave his whole life, and he doesn't really care about anyone else. But we're going to spare her life because we need to do that if we want to help Regongar not turn into a sort of, angry person. So, yeah. Off to Numeria with you. Get out of my sight, you filth. Thank the gods my friends are so soft. Yes. So, there we go. She's going to disappear. And we get to chat to Regongar and Octavia. And he's I like this line. You shouldn't have spared her life, but on second thoughts, what difference does it make? Either way, she'll rot in the abyss, like the idea that she's damned anyway, due to being a horrible person. And they are ecstatic that they're free. And Octavia and Regongar are in, a form of relationship, but it's, I guess, non-typical because they've had a very non-typical life as they've grown up, both being slaves their whole lives. And so, yeah, this is cool. She's also got big hair. So who on earth are you? And they just explain their names, that they've Numerian slaves, and they're not only that, but they're really valuable slaves, like due to being magical. And Regongar is not bad with a blade. So yeah, as I said, Magus archetype, sort of spell sword or Kensai Mage type character. If you're familiar with Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, and we can ask them what the Technic League is, but they gave their opinion that it's a huge man-eating spider, a secret society of study ancient technology. And Keveth Kul is the sovereign. It says it there, sovereign of Numeria. And they. I think I read in some of the background stuff of Numeria that it's like in their capital city, it's like about 1/3 of all people there are enslaved, despite the fact that slavery is nominally illegal there. And how did you get captured? Basically, they'd hoped, they'd come into the River Kingdoms and they'd be able to escape. Like, their whole life is life of attempted escapes from slavery, but because they're so valuable, because of their spellcasting, they were generally brought back rather than either killed or sold on. And so we're going to ask if they want to join us, which we definitely want. And we're going to swap out Amiri, and we're going to grab Regongar for some demonstrations and stuff. I'm not going to use him all that much, but I thought we'll play around with a Magus, and Amiri's the best swap. Octavia is also really good character, but I feel she comes into her own more after she's got a couple of levels. So we'll sort of bench her for now and hang out with this half-orc. So there we go. Octavia will head back to camp, and we're just gonna free these prisoners because we're super nice. Off they go, and we're gonna loot what we've got. Chain shirt. This just a short book that I don't think this one is important in any way. It's a sort of novel. We'll take that. And we're going to just grab their gear. They've got these Masterwork S-stocks. We got some food, which we'll take. That.
Applause, please.
Thank you, Lindsay. Okay, and I think that is everything. There's absolutely nothing down here. So, we're just going to head back. But before we leave the map, I will level up Regongar and talk a little bit about his character. Where's our cat gone? It's joined us. Okay. So let's see what we've got here. Look at this complexity. So first things first, it's not as complex as it looks because everything below this line is like bloodline magic. He is, we can see here, Mage Eldrich Scion, which means that he's a spontaneous caster because he's got dragon bloodline. So he's very similar to if you had a combat sorcerer. He gets his powers from the same, overarching source as we do. I.e., we've got Fey, or Alice has got Fey blood, and Regongar here has got draconic blue dragon blood, which makes him sort of lightning focused. In theory, you can see here, +1 point of damage with every electricity spell. This is a very powerful per die rolled. So if you're rolling 5 die, that's an extra 5. That's really nice. These are all the bonus spells he gets. Draconic bloodlines are not, in my opinion, they don't have particularly powerful spells, since you're looking at sequential dragon kinds. So it's a bit weak, considering you only really want dragon kind 3, or if you're really into it, dragon kind 4. Although consensus is that this is the one you really want. But he's got all sorts of things like these sort of spell combat stuff, and the best way to show this off is to demonstrate it. So I'm going to go ahead and level him up, and we're going to just level him up where the points have been. So athletics, persuasion, and use magic device. You can see from his stats he's a strength-based magus. The community, as it were, will divide maguses into strength-based or dex-based ones, depending on if they want to focus more on offense or defense, and depending on which weapon they want to use. He's got reasonable charisma for his, because since he's a charisma-based 3/4 bard, level 6 maximum arcane spellcaster. That is a mouthful. And the rest of his stats are just pretty standard, but this is quite a nice outlay actually for a magus of this type. And we get to choose both a feat and Magus Arcana because we're level 3. They're Magi are a little bit what you might call like feat starved. So they don't get as many feats as you might like, but they do get these bonus feats here. So there is that. And we're going to take weapon focus. And we're going to take weapon focus scimitar. And there's good reason for going scimitar, because they're a weapon that can be used in both one hand or two hands, depending on what you're doing. And in order to take advantage of spell combat, here you need a free hand or a potential free hand, and this here is our Magus Arcana, which is I guess a class characteristic of the Magus, and that they can make them very, very powerful. So we can either choose to go into basically sword in one hand and wand in the other. We can take some free meta magic feats. We can take these Magus Arcana meta magics, which enable us 3 times a day to use meta magic as if we had it. And this is very powerful. Not particularly these ones, but some of the later ones that we unlock. If you see here, things like maximized spell, and I guess quicken spell, empowered spell. These all enable us to do a lot of damage. And you'll notice we also can take weapon. The Magus, one of its main characteristics is it can enhance its weapon with all sorts of things from its arcane pool, which is a pool of points which increases as you level up, which you can spend on making a weapon like pretty brutal. But we're going to take arcane accuracy, which is a pretty standard thing to take at this stage, and it means we gain bonus to attack, and it's an insight bonus, which is relatively uncommon, and that is going to equal to our charisma bonus, which is 3. So we can spend this in order to get +3 to attack for the next round, which is pretty good. So we'll take that. He's basically got all the good spells you want at this level. Shield, True Strike, Shocking Grasp for spell combat, and so there's not that much more we want here, but basically spells which can only be cast on self are the most handy, because it means those spells can't be used to buff him. So we are going to take Expeditious Retreat, if I can find it, there, which will basically double his speed, and even though it doesn't act as haste to increase weapon attack, number of attacks and AC, a big part of the value of haste is actually the fact that it makes you move faster. So it's like getting, and Expeditious Retreat shouldn't be underlooked, because even though it says retreat, actually it's about like Expeditious Charge and Expeditious Kite and Expeditious anything. This is a really, really powerful level 1 spell, and it's 1 minute a level. So yeah, if you're playing on unfair, being able to have this on someone who can then kite forever is one way to get through the early game. So there we go. Nice little summary. And we'll just check out what he's got. Not much. We're going to give him Chainship +1. There. And he's got a Masterwork Scimitar. And that is it.
Grotus awaits us.
Yes. Grotus awaits indeed. So if we just have a little look here, we're about 2/3 of the way to level 4, and there are some fights, such as the last fight of this act, where we really want to be level 4 before we attempt it. It's tough, seriously tough at level 3.
Adventures can wait.
So what we're going to do,
Resting would be nice.
just going to check.
Don't you think?
We're still medium. We'll just do a bit of forced marching. And I think it's time to rest here. We are out of rations, which is a bit tough, so we're going to make sure we maximize our hunting. We'll stick Lindsay on Inspire Competence, and we'll see whether we can get somebody else to do Camouflage. Well, it looks like there might be a chance that we... it's a trade-off, isn't it? So... Alright, how are we going to arrange this? We need to maximize hunting to maximize our chance to camouflage. It's not going to help, so we're just going to shove everyone on watch duty. There. Is that going to work? Alright, let's see how this works. Hopefully we won't get ambushed as I faff around trying to ensure. Yeah, okay, so it didn't take any time at all. That's the best possible outcome. There, pretty pleased with that. Means less time wasted. If you have a look, 76 days and 11 hours, so we haven't even reached the halfway mark. So next we're going to visit the Boggard Hunting Grounds, which is here. This is going to grab us. You can actually visit this area much earlier, as long as you have remove fear in some source. You can visit this on your first trip out from Oleg's.
No time for idling.
Because
Anything is possible.
it's not particularly dangerous. Let's just make sure we got our formation right. Kitty out front, and I'll just use this.
This is my time to shine.
demonstrate Mega spell combat.
Together we are unstoppable.
Is there trouble?
We're going to make him big, which means that he can hide behind someone else because he's a bit squishy.
Where
So-
to now?
Basically, gonna bring various bits and pieces. Spell combat, spell strike. So, excuse me, just 1 second.
Adventures call to them.
My skills are absolute. Here.
Right.
Time for fun.
AI off, please. So, touch fatigue on autocast. And then what should happen
Stay behind me.
is he will deliver his... Let's do it slow. He delivers his touch of fatigue through his weapon, which he also hits with. And that's all there is to it. Obviously, they saved against it, so it's not perfect. But we can turn on spell combat now, and he will cast a spell with his offhand. So cast with one hand, attack with the sword with another.
Repent.
The main
Stand
issue
down.
here is that it can trigger an attack of opportunity. So, in theory, since he's large, you pull him back
Bleed
and
for
then
me.
you set him to do the
Fear me.
the same. It's easier. One of the playing a Magus is more popular in I guess
You
turn-based
offend me.
because
Any last wishes?
all the issues of
Strike.
micromanaging makes it a lot simpler. But
Die for me. Bleed for me.
yeah. Let's see. Maybe we'll actually get this to work. So he's ready, he just needs to hit. There's a body just here, which has got a ring of deflection +1. We're going to hand that over because I tend to distribute them through the team. It's just a small, slightly less chance of getting hit. And there's a slightly harder enemy up here. Not really hard, you can do these at level 2. But this Boggard Brute, who's got the same level, but slightly more health and slightly higher saves, and he's using a Masterwork Light Mace, so he's got a plus 11 attack bonus.
We should move.
So what we're going to do is we're actually just going to
I
try
wrote it
and
like I saw it.
daze the whole lot.
I've been taught if someone annoys you,
Okay.
you either pray or polish your armor. It is why my armor gleams.
Auto
Don't
cast,
hold back.
auto
This is
cast.
where I step in. Your
And-
time is over.
Alice can go for the Brute. 1, 2. Wow, there we go.
Let us strike as one.
I'll cut you.
See whether we can actually pull this off. Well, he did it, but they saved as usual. So I'm going to turn that off because, really, I guess the main appeal is using something like Shocking Grasp, because this will do 5d6 to them,
Die for me.
plus his extra once up to 5d6, I should say, plus his extra +1 per die for that being a blue dragon bloodline. So let's just
Bleed for me.
Is he gonna do it before it dies? Okay. Come on.
Fear
Okay.
me.
Just he's going to miss. And we've ballsed up this whole combat. So, right.
Do not falter.
Away,
Because
you
his
rascal.
brute is horrid. Well,
I'll cut you.
let's just see how it plays out.
Your life ebbs low. Die for me.
Where are you going, Lindsay? So, finally, that's what I wanted to try and demonstrate. So, hits with sword, and also does shocking grasp as part of the same attack, which is just really quite nice. We're going to turn that off and use him as a inferior fighter. But he does have arcane weapon enhancement, so you can see it doesn't count because of we've already got a masterwork scimitar and it only provides +1, but it should give us +1 to damage, I believe. Let's
Stand down.
actually finish this.
You offend me.
There we go.
This will hurt.
Don't waste them. So there we go. Made a bit of more of a meal out of that than I should have. We're going to pick up that masterwork light mace from
I'll take care of it.
this brute. There we go, and we're going to grab Cloak of Resistance here. So Potion of Age is quite nice. We'll probably forget to use that. But this Cloak of Resistance, we can give that to Harim, since he's most likely to be hit at the moment. Except for Valerie, who's already got one. And that
I'll share my path.
is this region cleared. That's all there is to it. It's just more swampy terrain, so typical of this area. And Boggards. There, that's just. So the Magus, at least at this sort of level, what they excel in is, you know, micromanaging of like burst damage. So like if you really need to kill something in one round, you've got a better chance with a Magus because he's using that, what do you call it, that's that scimitar which has got an 18 to a 20 crit range anyway. So
Adventures can wait.
we are going to finally do
My strength betrays me.
Boggards quest, but I'm just going to see if I can get this region to appear here. There we go. And
My
enter
strength
Two Rivers
fades.
Field. While we're fatigued as well. So it's another not particularly exciting looking area, but we're further east, so it's less swampy. Let's try and overcome our
Just letting the
fatigue.
Never wrong.
A simple smile goes a long way.
A few quick buffs,
What troubles you?
and let's see what we've got. It's nothing particularly dangerous here. The main issue is that this region is actually quite difficult to find. It requires a slightly harder perception check. There we go.
Serves you right. You deserved it.
These are just regular wolves. There we go. Let's do some skinning, see what we've got. And a couple more.
The dangers don't frighten me. Anything is possible.
And you'll notice that melee is just leveled up.
Onward!
So that's
Their
quite
life
nice.
ends here. You should have run.
Poor leopard. Knocked over. And attack of
Your
opportunity.
time is over.
Fortunately, Valerie's combat defense is high enough to not get tripped all that often. And everyone else just hides behind her. So, combat maneuver defense and combat maneuver. I'll just show you. Where is it on the You see, it's hidden away. But basically, you have a combat maneuver offensive score and a combat maneuver defense. Here we go. So combat maneuver defense of Valerie is 20, and so much as if you'd need to overcome a target's armor class, you need to overcome their combat maneuver defense if you want to carry out a combat maneuver. In this case, trip. And so she's pretty resistant to that, which is great. There's like a trap and some items up here, and there's some stuff over here as well. Well, that's no good. Right.
This is where I step in.
And so, there we go. And that's a success. So, roll of 19 plus 4 against 16. So the plus 4 is the combat maneuver bonus in this case. Let's see whether we can get this. There we go. I'm hoping there's not a trap here.
Adventures call to them. I see something.
There it is. Lures you in with the perception check,
Anything else? I'll
only
share
to
my
get
path.
caught in the trap. So this is just some valuable stuff. So let's head over to the other side to grab what's here. Boggards. What do you know?
Away, you rascal!
Easy peasy.
I decree we set up camp.
I decree we set up camp. So,
I am yours to command. We will prevail. Stay behind me.
I believe there's a few traps here.
It's just not my lucky day. Applause, please.
Whoops. There we go. I'm
This
sure
requires
there's
your
a
attention.
few
My
more.
time to
Yeah.
shine.
There we go.
I wrote it like I saw it. Applause, please.
No, Lindsay. No applause.
Anything else?
So, short spear plus 1 is... We don't really have any use for this because we've already got that long spear plus 1 for Harem. But we do get another Roslandic coin. It's a little bit more cash. Or future cash, I should say. And that's it. That's this region cleared. Gonna move on to the next one. But first, let's level up melee, because this will mean we level up our leopard to level 4. Which will mean if we pay attention to his attack bonus, is plus 10. We should, to his damage, 1d4 plus 3. If I remember rightly, this should, if it levels up to 4, they don't quite line up every level because it caps out at level 16, I believe. So, going to raise our same regular things. Can raise knowledge world because it will mean that eventually we'll be doing some cooking. So you'll see we've spell focus and greater spell focus conjuration, and as a caster we're just going to pick the same feats that Alice had, which is spell penetration. And I discussed this in a previous video that it's just about front loading those essential feats, and incredibly we gain access to level 2 spells, which on a druid we're really gonna enjoy. So unlike in Baldur's Gate 2, level 2 druid spells here are just great. And yeah, we can start making our frontliners just very difficult to touch. So let's just have a look. Yeah, see, it's next level. It goes up to 4, which is a shame.
Adventures can wait.
Because it means we don't get the bonus to damage. At level 4, the leopard adds their dexterity to damage as well, which means level 4 leopard, not level 4 leopard owner. Adds their dexterity damage, so it's a big buff for the leopard and for the party. Because if you cast like a single Cat's Grace, you're doing some serious damage increases there as well. Now, this is Fangberry Cave outside. This is where Boggard wants us to go. Way back when, to fetch some Fangberries, we went and got moon radishes instead. This is a hard area. And we've got these monitor lizards here. We're just gonna see about letting the cat take the... Because let's just bring up the info. They're level 3, so if you're level 2, it's going to be quite tough. And they do a poison attack, which is really unpleasant. They can be shaken, though. Oops.
Stand down.
I'll cut you.
And tripped.
Because see what your entrails look like.
Regongar shouting out about entrails. It's like, chill out, buddy. They're just like lizards. They can't understand you. There's a couple more things to see over here. You can these animals can of course be killed on the map. It's not a very nice thing to do. But you can just kill them for their meat, and also a little bit of extra experience, which might just push you over the limit.
I'll share my path.
There's lots of spiders in here.
Friendship lasts forever.
So
The spell's not working.
don't do
full
that.
of wonder.
The spell's not working. And we'll just buff up.
A reckoning.
It's shield, so this means that Regongar's AC is a semi-respectable 19 there. He's getting quite a serious dexterity penalty, so not the highest.
I am your shield.
Lindsay the
Let's see what they're made of.
the illustrious. Something more simple.
Let us strike
So we're going to see some more spiders coming in, and I think
Maybe Lindsay the indecisive.
we might just use
Do not falter.
auto attack.
You offend me. Serves you right.
And see whether we can just clear this lot with minimal effort. See, now that exactly what I didn't want to happen. Let's see whether we can treat it, because he's really fragile actually, because he's got rubbish constitution. He's big. It can just be a pain to deal with him. He's not a frontliner at this stage. That's why I keep having him enlarged, because that way he can at least hide behind someone else who's got a huge HP pool and a big shield. We see this poor little kobold here. Don't know what happened. Come to collect fangberries maybe, and didn't have a nice time.
Just letting the ink dry. What troubles you?
Ah, a test of my abilities.
There we go. 1, 2,
Stay behind me.
3. You hang there.
You should have run.
You all
Your time is
tend to attack, but fire your crossbow wildly at the ceiling, the walls, everything else.
Die for me.
Who's going to attack? Alright.
Strike. Do not falter.
And we'll just finish this off. And who says that you can't fight while fatigued?
I'll share my path.
There's a little leopard here. It's really sweet. It does a lot of heavy lifting in the party. Now, up here are swarms, and we're not that into swarms.
Impossible.
And
Adventures call to them.
let's see whether we can actually pass this. It's stupid, this check.
What a failure.
Adventures are exciting.
It needs to roll a 20. Yeah.
No time for idling.
Don't
The
hesitate.
end draws near.
I have once
I'm
died
always ready.
trying
A
to
trivial task.
pick these berries, especially at a lower level. It's just like, you know, what
wrote it
is
like I
going
saw it.
on? We
A simple smile goes a long way. Friendship lasts forever.
because swarms are immune to weapon damage.
How cute!
You really don't want to attack them unless you've got some means to deal with them, and that basically falls to splash weapons, fireball, sound burst, that sort of stuff. So I'll deal with one as a demonstration, but it might be a bit of a pain. So let's bring up info. Level 2, you can kill them via strength draining. They've only got 9 hit points, but they do all sorts of nasty things. So we're gonna send our sacrificial leopard out
Is
front
there trouble?
and drop a sound burst on it,
This will be quick.
or not. There we go, leopard. It's a shame we don't have. So
This
ear
is
piercing
where I
scream will
step in.
work, and sound burst. Yeah. So drain strength, and there. That's all you need to do to get rid of them. But they're up here. There are quite a few more, which I'm not going to fight at this stage. Poor leopard took a few
Serves
hits.
you right.
And it's just screaming at people.
Your life ebbs low.
So yeah, I don't really. We're exhausted. I don't really have the resources at this stage to go kill 3 spider swarms. So I'll try and remember to come back to this region later. But we can pick up this. This is quite nice. Wand of Cure, moderate wounds. That's 14 charges. Considering that Harem is so rubbish at healing. I keep saying that, but that is not true. He's rubbish at channeling. He's great at healing because he can convert all his spells. He just doesn't have very many of them at the moment. What's our strength drain? Only 1, so that you recover one drain. Sorry, 1 damage. It's not strength drain, it's strength damage. Drain is really serious. Damage is
The
less so.
dangers don't frighten me.
He recovers 1 strength damage per rest, and so we'll just recover that in Oleg's. And we have really been pushing the boat out 25 days. So we're just under... Sorry, 75 days. We're just under halfway through our time in order to get that super dueling sword +2, which we will immediately sell. But I think we've made good progress. There's
My
not
strength betrays me.
There's not much else left to do. We're going to return to Old Sycamore, then we're going to kill the Stag Lord. And we'll kill Tuskgutter as well. Should be enough time to do all of that. We'll cash in this quest, and I'm going to pause the video here. It's been a little bit messier than I'd hoped, but can't have a perfect playthrough, and I've been pleased that we haven't died yet, because that is a risk. Okay, so yeah, Octavia's incredibly happy to be free, which is great. Good for her, good for everyone, and yeah, we're going to say, get some rest, you deserve it. Ecstatic to be free. So maybe it could sort of pass you by, but you know, obviously this is the first time they've been sort of, you know, long-term free. Although we've just freed them. Like every other time they've escaped, they've been captured relatively quickly afterwards. And the other thing that's of note about Octavia is she's incredibly thirsty. Like, you know, there's instant. Anyway, we're not particularly interested. What are you asking? We're friends. And yeah, right. Off she goes. Fresh bread and clean sheets. So you can see we're getting there. 8,091.
I'll share my path.
I'll share my path. Let's just cash this in here to Boggard. So, about this task of yours. Here are the Fangberries. And yeah, if you delay, so if you collect the Fangberries and then you go and do something else, they will spoil, right? He says they need to be fresh, and he really means it. So yeah, there we go. And we get a potion of lesser restoration and some cure light wounds. The reward is very low considering the effort we have to go for. And we're going to ask him what he needs them for. And, sorry, we're going to ask him if he'd buy more, and he acts like an ass. You know, as in, we've killed all the spiders, so he can just go collect them himself. And hopefully he'll have a better opportunity of passing a law nature check than we do. Anyway, what are Fangberries for? They're chilies. That's it. Like, he sent us to go pick him some chilies. And, yeah, great. Anyway, I think that's enough for this video. I'll probably do some off-screen inventory management, but in the next video, we haven't talked to many of our companions, and I feel I need to do that so that we can get a sense for how they are. So I'll probably do more than one. I'll probably do 2 or 3. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.